welcome you all to Bright International School. It is an absolute honor to welcome such distinguished guests, esteemed dignitaries, and our wonderful audience to Bright International School. In India, we live by the saying, Atithi Devo Bhava. The guest is God. It is a cornerstone of our culture, reflecting our sincere hospitality and respect for all who visit us. Today, we are truly honored to welcome among us two distinguished guests. First, let me extend our warmest welcome to His Excellency Leonard Mengezi, Ambassador of the Republic of Malawi to the Republic of India. His Excellency has dedicated his service to strengthening bilateral relationships between Malawi and India, promoting trade, tourism and investments, while also acting as a spokesperson for the government of Malawi. We are deeply grateful for your presence today, sir. Now I welcome Mrs. Agnes Mengezi. Next, it is my privilege to welcome His Excellency Allassante Conte, Ambassador of the Republic of Guinea to the Republic of India and multiple nations, including Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Nepal, and Myanmar. With your extensive experience representing Guinea on the global stage, especially at the United Nations, we are truly honored to have you among us today, sir. Next, our esteemed guest, Member of House of Lords, UK, Mr. Kishan Dewani, sir. I, Mr. Patel, sir. Our special welcome also goes to our respected trustees, Umang Trivedi, Mr. Kaushal Sohagia, our esteemed principal ma'am, Mrs. Leonard Mengezi, my dear colleagues, and of course our bright young students who are the heartbeat of our school. At Bright International School, we take pride in upholding our core Indian values of discipline, hard work, and respect. Our CBSE curriculum is designed to nurture not only academic excellence but also creativity, emotional intelligence, and social responsibility. Our students consistently shine on national and international platforms, and their achievements are a testament to their dedication and the efforts of our educators. Beyond academics, our students actively engage in community service, from organizing charity events to participating in environmental conservation initiatives. We believe education is the bridge that connects cultures, fosters mutual understanding, and builds cooperation among nations. On behalf of Bright International School, I extend our deepest gratitude to our foreign dignitaries for visiting us today. Your presence inspires our students and reinforces the value of global citizenship and collaboration that we hold dear. We eagerly look forward to strengthening our bonds and exchanging ideas that will help create a brighter future for our students and communities. Thank you all for being here and making this occasion so awesome. To Kishan Dewani, sir. To the Ambassador of the Guinea and the Allassante Conte. Next, ma'am, and let this small token symbolize our gratitude for their presence and the bond of
Thank you, but I was love to. I I just wanted to encourage you. That education is the key to everything. So what you see in the house is to go when to school, wait for me in this cheap. And I'll give them an example of myself. I'll be praying with you for service, showing wisdom and virtue, talent and prowess. So what you see is the production of what I caused so many years back. And that it makes me a unique person. And nothing is impossible. The last part, this of your cake, where is the representing us there? I went to West of Westminster, did my master's there, and I got a distinction. And that was a boy from Africa. And I had freaking colleagues from UK. So nothing is possible. You can achieve everything. Know it, understand, and do it your best. Don't be intimidated. Don't always try with boasting. Immediately not going, but there will be a time you do well. Okay? No one should tell you that you're not intelligent. That's all emotional intelligence and physical intelligence. If that's the way to go in life, learning how in and out there, you need to upgrade yourself fully. As much as you are young, strive to get much education as possible and follow strictly what your teachers say. So, explain is one thing that you need to do. If they're well-explained person, willing to listen and be able to adapt to any type of environment. All right? Now, you can imagine, I doubt you Africa, but an ambassador in India and 7 other countries in Asia. So I tried my lot. I also speak a lot. But I always think positive about my country. Because that's the only way to go. And then have to enjoy this. Thank you very much for listening.
Hi. Sandro, I'm a politician, but I'm actually a professor. I'm a teacher. I started my life like a man of years, and I still go to school across the globe. I go to universities to speak, because I really miss teaching children. That's where my heart is. And for any teacher, the classroom is what we really miss. And I feel that every time I've been at school, I feel like, oh, I just want to get behind the desk and start teaching. I am a 5th generation Indian. Born and brought up in the UK. Then this is one in Germany, especially our Italy. It's the people grower. But actually, what I need is not to talk about myself. I want you to, for a second, visualize yourself as young people. What did you like to do in the next 10 years of your life? Because I've been doing a podcast last night with a gentleman who is quite famous on Instagram. And I said to him one thing, and I really believe this. The only person that is stopping you from being successful in your lives is yourself. Which isn't your neighbor, it isn't your friends, it isn't your parents, it isn't your brother, it isn't your sister, it is you. You create your own boundaries. You create your own limitations in life. No one else. So if you want to go and break, it is up to you. You have an example. Without the politics aside, you have an example of a man that had a vision. He sold tea in your country. He sold tea in your country. Today, he is at the largest, most powerful position in your nation. From a team man to a prime minister of the largest democracy in the world. How do you think he did that? Because he dreamt, he visualized, he saw himself in that position way before he was able to attain it. So each one of you have that potential. Each one of you has the potential to be a leader in each one of your fields. That doesn't have in politics. I mean, please don't do politics. I can tell you now, actually. But in each one of your fields, you can become more leaders. The only people stopping you is yourself. So when you are thinking to yourself, oh, do I have to go and do that extra hour of study? Do I have to go and do that extra hour at school? Do I have to wake up early to do this tuition? I know in India, you get a lot of extra classes. Unfortunately, you have a lot of that in this country. Think to yourself, well, actually, what is it that I want to achieve at the end? Because at your age, it's hard sometimes. You want to watch TV, you want to go play with your friends, you want to go here, you want to do this. You want to go on social media, you want to go on your phone, you want to do whatever. A bit of Instagram or whatever. It's hard. But when you remember your final goal, what is it you want to achieve? Everything else becomes irrelevant. So, I don't want to go into too much of a motivational speech, but I can speak for hours on this. What I want to leave you with a thought is that you are the writers of your own destiny. Not your teacher, not your parent, not your friend. And in 10 years' time, 15 years' time, you may not even know each other anymore. You'll be all living your own lives too, in different parts of the world, hopefully, in different parts of the country, many in London, hopefully, up to my country. It's a great place to live. I'm selling my country. But the point is, all of the issues you may have now, don't let them get in the way of your individual progress. Because in 15 years' time, you won't even know each other so much. Okay? So don't make small little things big issues in your lives, in your brains, in your minds. Progress, move forward, and look at your final goal. Because all of you have the potential of becoming leaders in your field. That's what I want to say. Yeah.
It's very poor. That's why I aim to speak in face at movie task very okay. Donc, merci de tous ces organisateurs de cette cérémonie.
Thank you for everybody who's played on the organizer this ceremony.
Comparativement aux autres orateurs, moi j'ai enseigné dans 3 universités communes.
Compared to my predecessors, I teach in 3 universities in my country.
J'ai donné des cours de droit et de relations internationales.
I was taking classes of law and international relations.
J'ai fréquenté une des plus grandes universités de l'Ukraine, dans la capitale de Kiev.
And I did my study in one of the biggest universities in Ukraine, Kiev.
J'ai fait relations internationales, droit et relations internationales dans ce pays.
And I'm graduated in international relations and work.
Quand j'ai fini mes études à l'université, je suis rentré en Guinée.
After my higher education, I came back to my country.
J'ai servi au ministère des Affaires étrangères en qualité de fonctionnaire dans ce département.
And I started to work for my Ministry of External Affairs as a civil servant for the beginning.
Ensuite, j'ai été nommé conseiller à l'ambassade du pays auprès des Nations Unies à New York.
Then I've been appointed in as a
consular in our embassy in United Nations, USA.
Secondary, cette ambassade que j'ai été nommé ambassadeur de Guinée à Dancing.
From there, I came and now I'm an ambassador of the Republic of Guinea in India.
Pourquoi je m'appelle cela? Parce que tout simplement, comme l'a dit nos prédécesseurs, l'a dit, n'est pas facile. Les études comme
And why I'm telling you all this story, just to testimony that life is not easy and the classes are not easy.
en Kiev, dans le temps étudiant, le matin et l'hiver, quand tu te réveilles le matin, tu te penses que l'année, c'est pas tendue.
When I was in Kiev, in the morning when you wake up during the winter, when you are prepared to go to school, sometimes the snow is coming this level.
Donc, tu es obligé de marcher dans la neige et aller à l'école.
And sometimes you have to struggle in that snow to go to school.
Vous êtes heureux, il y a le soleil et c'est pas vivre dans l'espace.
What do you, it is not snow here.
En Afrique, on parle aussi des conditions d'études sont un peu plus difficiles que ce que nous avons.
The conditions are worse than what you are facing now.
Dans certaines localités de l'Afrique, les gens marchent 10, 15, 20 km pour aller à l'école.
In sub-Saharan Africa, some people are walking for 10 kilometers for going their schools.
Ça ne décourage pas du tout à aller à l'école. Ils vont, ils apprennent.
But that never discourage them. They always go to school.
C'est pourquoi vous avez la chance d'évoluer, n'est-ce pas, dans un pays, dans un environnement très favorable à l'espace de nos études.
So that's why you are looking to study in a favorable area.
C'est pourquoi je vous encourage à travailler dur pour mériter ce que vous aimez maintenant en venant à notre pôle.
That's why I'm advising you to work hard so that can be somebody greater than me.
Pendant que je travaillais, n'est-ce pas, à Guyane, j'ai un fils qui a évolué dans les mêmes conditions que vous, est actuellement en train de travailler, n'est-ce pas, aux États.
And at the same time, when I was serving as a diplomat in the United Nations, my son also was in the same condition.
Donc, prenez le courage, venez à l'école, inculquer la vie et prospère ça.
So take more courage, come school, because the future is yours.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you.
Kenny, I think that we try to be the concept of our school. So I think don't get into that to mean that I'm scared over that. Some of students are taken the knowledge of women. Now by students, then compacting the principle of struggles. Everything finally is a surveying law. And by students will interact regarding what they get to know and what they want to know was correct. So, my question is, what advice do we give to a student who wants to learn or contribute to your parents?
Lenard,
Was it at time?
one thing is, if you want to know about their culture, understand their culture. Like when we live in a communal way in India, we are English speaking as one of this language, and we have a number of languages that we use among different tribes that are found there. One thing to help you know that we have the same background, the British ruled Malawi for a century is 100 years. So they brought Christianity there. It is the majority, but the people that believe in, but there are also Muslims there. So, the biggest thing that is lacking nowadays is the use of technology. So, if you want to work to that part of the world, I would advise you to both in a lot of learning in ICT information communications technology, artificial intelligence, and many other things. We are also striving that we should become a more productive economy so that we have factories that produce medicine and everything that we do here. They have so become a person that I can adapt to any culture. And that's what I do here. I do visit places. My culture is different, but I have to be sensitive and understand the people. And I do network a lot, and these are all my friends within India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Myanmar, Nepal, Afghanistan. I've made friends despite that we work officially. So I strive to make friends, and you are allowed. It's a free will. Don't fear. Don't be like the older generation that fears Africa. Africa's got girls like you. They also go to school. They can understand you better than I can. And it's a nice environment. You will not be discriminated against if we have student programs that we can exchange students. You come here, you go that side. You even want to settle there because we have a population of over 10,000 Gujaratins. Their parents went there in the 18th century. Now they're in generation. They have schools like this one. They have good hotels. You name it. They have factories. They don't even know India. When I say I'm the ambassador in India, they ask me, how is it that side? So the world is a small place and it's hard. But every country is different from another. But through education, you are able to understand different kinds of people throughout the world. So you go to the West, they are very individualistic. If I go to a restaurant, they have invited me, I have to pay. Whilst here, if I'm invited, there was space. And even the same with us in Malawi. So that's the situation that I would advise. Thank you very much.
He was with a travel agency, so I have heard a lot of stories of Malawi and its development. So I was very curious about this. Thank you.
Wonderful. So you need to go back to the warm heart of Africa, Malawi. I will invite you.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. My question is to Sir Conte. As you told us right now that you had such extreme conditions back in Africa while you were growing up. So what was that one thing that kept you motivated to continue and be different from others?
En fait, comme je le disais tout de suite, les études finies en Ukraine, j'ai passé 2 années de suite, n'est-ce pas, étant sur place. Pourquoi? Parce que, tout simplement, cela a coïncidé à la dislocation de l'ex-Union des Républiques socialistes soviétiques.
As I was mentioning before, after my study, I've stayed in Ukraine 2 more years because at that time, Soviet Union was in separation.
Donc, j'avais des bagages que je devais ramener au pays. Les ports étaient fermés. Je suis obligé de rester 2 ans sur le pays.
I was supposed to send back my staff in my country, but all seaports were closed.
Mais cela ne m'a pas découragé. Je me suis dit, dès que les ports seront ouverts, je retournerai n'est-ce pas en Guinée.
But I was not discouraged and decided that as soon as it will be open, I will go back to my country.
Mais ce que je vais vous dire maintenant, c'est beaucoup plus sérieux que vous pouvez imaginer.
But what I'm going to tell you right now is more serious than what you can think.
Donc, après 6 années d'études, donc 1 année de langue russe, et 6 ans d'études universitaires, j'ai décidé de retourner, n'est-ce pas, dans mon pays.
After Russian language learning and 6 years study, I decided to go back to my country.
Mais là, je suis resté au ministère des Affaires étrangères pendant 10 ans, sans salaire.
And my experience was to stay in my Ministry of Foreign Affairs 10 years without salary. 10 years without any salary.
En qualité de stagiaire.
I was I was having a level of simple trainer.
Pourtant, j'avais mon diplôme de relations internationales en poche.
But I was having at that time my degree of international relations.
Mais comme j'ai décidé de servir mon pays, je suis resté, j'ai accepté toutes les difficultés.
But as I decided before to work for my country, so all difficulties, I was ready to welcome them.
Après 10 ans, j'ai été admis à un concours pour entrer dans la fonction publique.
After 10 years, I've come in a civil service.
Mais pendant ce temps, pendant que je travaillais pour l'État guinéen sans salaire, j'ai commencé à écrire, n'est-ce pas, un livre.
At that time, I started to write a book.
Aujourd'hui, j'ai deux ouvrages à mon actif. L'un écrit, n'est-ce pas, en Guinée, l'autre écrit, n'est-ce pas, aux États-Unis.
From now, I have 2 books. I've written 2 books. One in my country, from my country, Guinea, and one from USA.
Le deuxième ouvrage, j'ai raconté l'historique de la Guinée, depuis l'indépendance jusqu'à notre admission aux Nations Unies.
The first book, the second book was talking about the story of the Republic of Guinea till the independence.
Jusqu'à notre admission aux Nations Unies.
Till our accessibility in the United Nations.
Ce livre retrace, n'est-ce pas, l'histoire de la Guinée avec les Nations Unies.
And that book explained the relation of my country with the United Nations.
Donc, si vous étudiez ici, ou vous avez la possibilité d'aller ailleurs, l'idée maîtresse qui peut-être gouverne aujourd'hui, c'est de vous permettre de revenir servir, n'est-ce pas, votre pays.
Your motivation should be what? After studying here and go to increase your graduation, you should have the motivation to come back to your country.
Donc, servir son pays, c'est le plus grand bonheur qu'on puisse avoir, n'est-ce pas, sur terre.
The best happiness in the world after the study is to come back and work for your country.
Et c'est pourquoi, en ma qualité d'ambassadeur, je passerai partout pour drainer, n'est-ce pas, tous les potentiels investisseurs, n'est-ce pas, de l'Inde ici, de revenir en Guinée pour investir dans mon pays.
That's why, as the head of the mission of my country in India, I will do all my best to send all Indian investors in my country.
Et dès que j'ai été invité, n'est-ce pas, à cette cérémonie, je n'ai pas hésité un seul instant parce que je me suis dit que je vais rencontrer de potentiels investisseurs indiens ici et qui vont certainement investir, n'est-ce pas, en Guinée.
That's why when I received this invitation, I knew that I will meet Indian investors that I can lead to my country.
Donc, voilà un peu ce que je voulais vous dire, parce que servir son pays, c'est le plus grand honneur, n'est-ce pas? Je vous remercie.
The best thing is to serve the country, your country.
Good afternoon, everyone. We have some knowledge. Let's present out in modern science. My question is to respected surveys from UK. So my question is, in your whole successful journey of recording, how you handle your media?
I'm going to change your question, Michelle. Because quite too often, especially in countries like India, where you have such competition and you have such expectation for your parents, for your teachers, for everyone. Huge expectation. I'm going to rephrase your question. What you may perceive as a failure may not actually be a failure. The very notion you calling it a failure is for me an issue. You see it as a failure because you've been trained to see it as a failure. But if you see it as a lesson, it stops being a failure. So when you see something in a different light, right, it becomes first. When you see a failure and you keep thinking of it as a failure, you immediately create negative feelings that you immediately. And then to overcome a failure, you are looking for a positivity, but you cannot. Maybe you simply started off on a negative footing. So my first thing is to take the notion of failure out of your brain. If you don't get the marks that you were set out to achieve, that is fine. Don't beat yourself up about that. You think your life is going to end if you don't get one extra mark? Well, it's you. You think your mother and father are going to stop loving you because you didn't get that one extra mark? Honestly, of course not. So don't take yourself too seriously sometimes, especially at your age. Because ask your teacher, how much money would they pay you to become your age again? They will tell you they give their whole life up again, coming become your age again. Yes? So you're in a much better position than us. Agreed? But you don't know how to live it. Partly not your fault, partly because of society's constraint, partly because society tells you must do this, society tells you must live like this, you must get your degree at 21, you must go out of college and go and study at university at 18, you must live this type of life, you must get married at 25, you must have children at 28. Who makes those decisions? Society or you? You have to decide. Those that are successful never please fall. I keep using your prime minister as an example. They don't have to be a supporter of his to tell you where he's got some amazing things about him. But he never confirmed. He's not married. Well, he's married, but he's not living with his wife. Does that conform to society? At all. At all. But look how successful the man is. So my whole issue with the question is, it's not a failure. If you don't achieve what you set out to achieve at that moment of time and you don't achieve it, that's not a failure. That is a learning lesson to it. That what is it that I can do next time to potentially better myself? But if you view it as failure, if you view the glass half empty always, your entire life you will see it half empty. Just think in your own brain. You go home, and we all have that one Bazi or that one Kaki or that one Bao or that one person in our life. I shouldn't say just women. It can also be men. It can be the one Kaka. It can be the one Wasai, the one Mama. But it's always negative. And cuts. Right? We all have that. In one person in our family. We're going to be a bunch of people there where you find. Perfect? Be a bunch of people. But look at their lives. And if you ask the people that have been in their lives, they will tell you this man was exactly the same when he was 10, when he was 15, when he was 21, when he was 35, and now he's 16. Exactly the same negativity. It has not changed. And પછી વ્યક્તિ તમે જોજો. એ જ્યાં 15 વર્ષના હતા ને, એ જ્યાં 60 વર્ષના ત્યાં એજ. એટલે નિર્ણય તમારે લેવાનો છે. Where do you want to be when you are 60 years old? Do you want to be the type of person that looks back at his life and has no regrets? Or do you want to be the person that looks back and thinks, oh my God, if only I did this, if only I did this, if only so many of your family members do this, I do it. Because I've seen it in my own family. You have to choose to be the character that is positive. The failures are not something that you need to worry about. In fact, I personally, on a personal level, I love to fail. Fascinating thing, isn't it? I love to fail. Today, I am a product of my failures. Think about it. Logically. Everyone says they are a product of their good actions. Everyone will tell you. But some are they really the product of their failures? Think about it. Right? So failures are not necessarily bad. It's how you take that failure and what you do with it after. And if you choose to make that reaction positive, your life becomes positive. If you choose to take it negative, it becomes negative. But again, look at this. Think about this. Everything I have said even from the beginning when I spoke to you, you are at the center of that decision-making process, not anyone else. Wait, them now it is soon on the thing. What are we taking it? It is here. You have to do that. In this country, I've been reading lots of cases of people committing suicide or they don't get the right brain. It's a big, it's an endemic in this country. Here more than anywhere else in the world. Because they're pushed so hard. You want to get, you don't get 99%, you go and study medicine without the thing. If that can matter in your country. It's amazing to be in that position. But when people commit suicide, are they crazy? But it's not them. Society that is dictating us. So right. But why? Because they're not realizing in their own brains that they're more powerful than all this stuff. You're much more powerful than this stuff. The other thing is this, in my own experience, you asked my own experience. Every time I've decided to plan something in my life, it's never worked. And you can ask, it's successful people, you got Priyanka, and got Kaushal Sohagia, you got all these people, like successful people. You ask them, they will plan everything. But I promise you, 90% of the time, their planning never happens. Do you know why? Because all we can do is plan. But the final planner is someone upstairs. He plans. Or she plans, or whatever you want to put him. See, and they will give the front for your karma. Okay? So you can plan all you want in your life, but if it's not meant to happen, it's not meant to happen. What's the matter? Nothing will happen. When God wants it to happen, it will happen. So don't get too stressed about life. We complicate life too much, actually. Yeah, especially at your age. Because you've got hormonal changes, you've got peer pressure, you've got family pressure, you've got study pressure. I would hate to be a child nowadays. Like, it's so much pressure, social media pressure, so much pressure you don't have. But don't complicate things. Keep life simple. Because I would give everything I could to go back to your age. Honestly, even though I'm successful now, I'd love to go back to your age. I would probably do some different things because I have the experience of hindsight. But everything that you do now will still the fruits of your endeavors later on in life. So it's not a failure. But use that word. Negative word, remove from your dictionary. Remove negative thoughts from your dictionary. Remove negative emotions from your dictionary. Remove negative thoughts towards your friends, towards your family, towards anything. Après que outwardly level. Work at na level to way. To kay will do or outward matamar time ne bagar. Didn't take a correct. Bari iti agar wadar vision. The fool you've got to think in your life. Will you not work good? Will you not work good? Doesn't matter, not my problem. Mare jikaron. In your brain, you must keep that very first lesson. Yes, sir.
Lab of my Bright campus, that is Bright International School. I would like to appreciate your contributions of the one who by students you have shared every week whatever you do. So my students are very happy and they can implement everything week. And thank you everyone. You are visited by Bright International School and Bright Campus. You and your valuable time to our students and kids for fostering them with a new education system, what they have to implement and they have to be in a positive direction. Thank you very much, sir. All High His Excellency and Her Excellency. Thank you for visiting my Bright International School.
Lit.